Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. Today I came across a video of the girls on the reel, Amanda, Seales, Jeannie Mai, discussing Jussie Smollett. And I believe this was taped a few days ago. And what I was noticing in the social media streets, that a lot of people were dragging Amanda, mostly dragging Amanda. Some people were dragging Jeannie. So, me, being a little bit nosy as I am, I said, well, let me go watch this clip because why are they dragging them? And what could they possibly be saying about Jussie Smollett? Now, mind you, let's talk about Jussie first. Now, we all know at the beginning of the week, Jussie was recharged for his little scandal in Chicago. We already know what Jussie did. It was a huge hoax. He created a hate crime. No one really knows why, but we're going to get I got a little bit of backstory that might explain a little bit. I don't know how much I believe this backstory, but we'll get there. So the city of Chicago decided to give Jussie 6 new felony charges for this hoax of a hate crime. The 6 new felony charges, I believe, are charges for lying to the police. He already has some disorderly conduct charges. The city already sued him for $130,000, and that was for overtime paid out to police officers, you know, spending their time investigating his case, which was a lie. And these new charges could give him up to 3 years in prison. Now, I'm going to give my opinion on all of this at the end, but let me just give you my beginning statements. From the beginning, when this Jussie thing first went down, I was one of the people who initially thought the story sounded crazy, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I was believing him. I was like, man, that was really messed up. You know, that was really fucked up, you know, and it was inciting anger. I was like, I can't believe someone would do this to Jussie. Now, mind you, it was a crazy story. It was a polar vortex at the time, which means it was probably negative 50 degrees outside. Why the hell do you want a Subway sandwich? But we ain't going back there. I believe most people in the beginning were like, he lying. He lying. They didn't believe it from the beginning. But I was one of the ones who at least gave him the benefit of the doubt, because I just was like, I don't see anybody making this up. Like, why? So when it came out that Jussie was lying and the police released all that evidence that he was lying, I was taken back, and I was like, I cannot believe this. Like, why? And I never really believed it was for no salary increase on Empire, because I was like, why? I just couldn't believe it. And so it really angered me there for, like, you playing with people's emotions for attention. So let's dig into this. Now, Jeannie and Amanda are having a debate. I don't really think it was disrespectful. They were just 2 TV moderators having a debate. And the main thing they're debating about is why Jussie should have to pay for this crime. And Jeannie, a little bit of backstory about Jeannie. Jeannie has very passionate, she's an advocate for the LGBT community. Now, I want to say this. I feel like on these kind of shows, if people led with a little bit of the backstories, you really could understand where they're coming from when they're saying their talking points. And a lot of their talking points wouldn't get dragged through social media because they're just little clips of you just hearing a little snippet of what someone's saying. You don't understand why they're saying it. I don't agree with everything everybody says, but I also see both of these ladies' points of view. Now, Jeannie happened to be, and mind you, all of this I heard on social media streets, and I'm going to say allegedly about Jeannie because I don't know it to be a fact. I heard that she was a victim of sexual assault as maybe a teenager. At the time, her mother could not be there for her the way she needed it. So I don't know if she ran away, but she left her mother's house, and she was raised by people in the LGBT community. And Jeannie is very passionate about the community and is advocate for the community because those were the people who raised her. And she said on numerous times she's seen people have hate crimes put against them, get assaulted because they were gay, get killed because they were gay, and she's seen this with her own two eyes. Like, she's lost a lot of people dealing with hate crimes for being gay. And so this being a hoax hit her a totally different way. Now, Amanda says, and this is her statement as they're talking about why Jussie should have to pay. And mind you, Jeannie is very passionate in saying she feels Jussie really should pay. Amanda was like, even if it was a hoax to bring attention to this, and this being hate crimes, it was low-key noble. Now, mind you, when Amanda first said it was low-key noble, even I had the screw face like, huh, girl, it was noble. Now, a little bit of backstory I heard on the social media streets about why Jussie may have done this is someone in Lee Daniels' family had this same type of hate crime assault happen to them. And because the person in Lee Daniels' family was not a celebrity, it did not get the media attention. It did not get the attention of the police to try to solve the crime. And it kind of seems like it was just swept under the rug and nothing ever came of it. So they're saying in Jussie's mind, he thought it was a good idea to recreate this hate crime. And because he's a celebrity, he's bringing awareness that this has happened to people or can happen to people. And I don't think he really thought that out if that was the reason. I'm just going to say allegedly. Now, to play devil's advocate for 1 second, if this truly did happen to someone in Lee Daniels' family and Jussie's purpose was to try, in his mind, bring awareness to that situation happening to a friend of his, I understand now why so many of his friends and castmates never spoke out against him and just were adamant that Jussie was innocent. Like, because to me, once all that evidence came out from the police and you just clearly knew that he was lying, I didn't understand why a lot of people like Taraji and what is his name? Gosh. Terrence Howard. A lot of his castmates were just riding so hard for him. They wanted him to stay on the television show. Even Lee Daniels fought really hard for him to stay on Empire. No one ever spoke out against him. People were at award shows like Yara, just really speaking up for Jussie. I can see, if that is true, why they did that, because they understood the purpose behind it. But at the end of the day, that was not a good idea. To me, Amanda, I'm sorry, it wasn't noble. It was kind of stupid. I understand the intent, but the action was stupid, because what was the outcome? Did he want some just mysterious white people to pay who never actually assaulted him? Like, I don't understand. I don't think he thought it through. Now, to me, a better thing to do, if this truly happened to someone in a good friend of his in Lee Daniels' family, the better thing to me for him to do was, maybe, if this person didn't mind his name being put in the media, is Jussie or Jussie. If I say Jussie, forgive me. And Lee, take this young person to the media and share their stories, because the media is willing to sit with Jussie Smollett and Lee Daniels and willing to open up and hear a story. Or two, Lee Daniels, as a talking point, could have wrote this storyline into his script for Jussie's character, and on the day of the episode, maybe dedicated to his family member. And just seeing it on the television show, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of like Wendy, The Real, The View, a lot of media outlets discuss talking points from television shows. And he could have brought awareness to it that way. But to make it up and say it happened to him, I understand that he's a celebrity and what happened? Chicago PD was on it. This happened to Jussie. We got to find out who did it. They were on it because he was a celebrity. So I understand that, but I don't think he thought it all the way through. And for that, it was still a stupid idea. And for that, Amanda, I can understand you wanting to stick up for your friend in that way, but to use the word noble was the wrong word on all accords. Nothing about that was noble. I don't think we should have dragged Amanda. I understand where she was coming from, but nothing about that was noble. It was still stupid, and sometimes when you make stupid mistakes, no matter what your reason is, you have to pay for it in some way, shape, or form. Now, Amanda also is going forward talking about why Jussie should not have to pay for this crime. She brings up Emmett Till's accuser. She said this lady is still alive to this day, which I believe she is. She says she has admitted on camera to lying and that her lies got a young person brutally killed. And that's all facts. That's all facts. I said I agree with Amanda. She said the moment that lady got on camera and admitted to lying on Emmett Till, she should have been put in shackles at that moment. And I agreed. And that moment angered me so much when I saw it, as I'm sure it did all of you all. And I agree. If you want to start putting charges on people who are lying, start putting charges on people who are lying and getting people killed or falsely arrested. Like, charge them people. Jussie just made a fool of himself and he wasted the police's time. I agree with Amanda, and people are dragging Amanda for using Emmett Till as an example because they said one had nothing to do with the other. And I agree, they don't. But what she was trying to do is to show you that this woman lied and got someone brutally killed. And this woman was allowed to admit that she lied on national television and still walk around free like, it's cool you lied. Like, did she apologize? I don't even know, because I was just so angry when she admitted that she lied. And I said her old ass could go to jail. They put Bill Cosby ass in jail. They didn't care. He was 80-something years old. Now, mind you, Bill needs to keep his ass in there because he did what he did. I'm just using his name out of an example of, I don't care how old you are. If you old and you get caught up in some bullshit that you did when you were young, it's time for you to take your ass to jail. If you have to die there, you have to pay. That woman should have paid. And on that fact, I agree with Amanda, and I don't see why people are dragging her, because you should want that woman to go to jail just as much. Let me move on, because I feel myself getting angry. And y'all know how y'all done already told me I curse too much and do all that. Let me just move on. But I agree with Amanda on that. Now, Amanda is starting to ask, I don't know who asked, but someone is like, well, if you don't want him to do this, what do you think should be a fair punishment? How do you think Jussie should pay? Amanda says he should just get a slap on the wrist. And she goes into a lot of things about black people, white people, and I don't really want to go there, but I don't think he should just get a slap on the wrist. Jeannie says, well, they offering 3 years. I think 3 years sounds good. And I said, wait a minute, Jeannie. 3 years for what Jussie did is extremely harsh. And this is taking me back, I know a lot of people may disagree with me, we just watched the documentary on ESPN on Michael Vick. It's taking me back to Michael Vick, where the judge gave him the maximum allowed for something that wasn't even illegal until it came to Michael Vick. Like, they created those charges for him, and he had to waste 2 years of his life. Not saying, I don't want to make the PETA people upset, not saying that dog fighting is right or none of that. I'm just saying, at that point in time, it was not a felony charge to dogfight. They created a felony charge for Michael Vick, and I feel like they're creating a felony charge for Jussie Smollett, and he should not have to do 3 years. Like, that's just ridiculous. Now, what I am going to say is, I do think Jussie should pay, and how I feel Jussie should pay is maybe do give him probation. Maybe do make him do a lot of hours of community service so he can serve the community that needed police attention, that he took the police attention away from for his foolishness. Make him do some community service, and he wasted $130,000. Make him pay back a significant portion of that, maybe $100,000. Because I heard he only paid back 10. 10, that's a slap. He needs to pay back a significant portion of that, and that will teach you not to mess with people's time when it hurts your pockets. And then two, Jussie, this stunt has already hurt his career in a way that 3 years in jail don't even matter. Like, no one is willing to work with him right now. He's going to need a lot of time for this to blow over, for someone to give him a chance again, because I just don't see anyone right now giving him a chance. So he's already paying for that as well. Now, I already talked about how I think he should pay. The final thing I want to say, if we're going to start creating felony charges for lying to the police, let's not, because Amanda said something that I really agree with, and I want to say it. Here it is. She said, we shouldn't start with Jussie Smollett. She says, you don't start, and she's talking about charges and things like that. You don't start getting things right with people who are always done wrong. And what she's saying is, why do we always have to start with black people? And I don't want to get into race too much about black versus white, but why do, and just speaking from being an African-American woman, it always feels like white people get a slap on the wrist, they get a slap on the wrist, get a slap on the wrist, get a slap on the wrist. But we want to finally make an example from someone, and from this point forward, it's no more slaps on the wrist, but we're going to start with this African-American man. Like, he's going to be the starting point for charges on lying to the police. I feel Amanda, when Amanda said that, I want to say it again. You don't start getting things right with the people who are always done wrong. I felt that. Now, I don't feel like black people should just automatically get a slap on the wrist because the police are constantly doing us wrong. It's just historical facts. But I feel like if you do a crime, you deserve your time. But I don't feel like for this small of a crime that we need to start with Jussie. If you want federal charges for lying to the police, start with people who, one, it hurts me a lot when people, out of jealousy, out of rage, out of even racist things, I don't want my family to know I was sleeping with this black man. I don't like when people lie to the police and say someone raped me, someone beat me, for whatever purpose, to get them put in jail, and then they come back. Even if they don't go to jail, just the women, I'm going to say something personal, and me being a survivor of sexual assault, I don't like when women lie about being sexually assaulted. I don't like when women lie and say so-and-so raped me or molested me or sexually harassed me, and you put that stigma on their name, and their life is ruined. Once you accuse them of it, and especially it gets in the media that they were accused of it, their name is ruined. Because it's always going to be someone who's like, yeah, they did it. And for a woman to come back and say, oh, but I lied, or I didn't, it really didn't happen, or for whatever reason, and they get to go walking free because the police say we don't want people who really have been sexually assaulted not to come forward. That's bullshit to me. To me, I ain't a police officer. I ain't no psychological expert. I don't know, but it's bullshit to me. I feel like if you can go to the police and lie and mess up somebody's name, or have somebody spend 10 to 20 years of their life and they can't get out now because the only reason they're out now is because of DNA evidence and we find out that you lied, you should go to jail. Those are the type of people who deserve charges. People who are out here lying on people, messing up their names for whatever reason. That's what pisses me off. Those are the type of people where there's really real victims involved that need to face 3 years in jail. And maybe them 3 years in jail will make you think the next time before you lie on someone. I promise you all, I know that just took a turn to the left and they had nothing to do with Jussie. But that's one of my biggest fears, because I see it all the time. Young ladies lying on young men, saying that they were raped or that they were touched and nothing happened, but oh, I'm lying because I don't want my parents to find out I really just slept with him, or I'm lying because he left me for her and I want to get a payback, so the police are going to believe me and I'm lying. That is one of my greatest fears, because I don't want anyone to do that bullshit on my child. And I feel like that is what makes it so hard for people who really were sexually assaulted to get their cases, any kind of justice for their cases, because in the back of people's mind, they're thinking about the bitches over there lying. Them the people that need to spend 3 years in jail. That will stop people from making these kind of lies. I don't really see any... Jussie spending 3 years in jail ain't gonna stop nobody else from doing no hoax, because most normal people ain't thinking about creating a hate crime hoax. That was just some Jussie Smollett bullshit. I done got upset. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry. It's not funny. I'm just trying to calm myself down because I have gotten upset talking about something that I'm really passionate about. So let's end the video here. Y'all get in the comments. Let me know, what do you think about what Jeannie had to say? Do you think 3 years is too much, or do you think 3 years is fair? Do you think he just deserves a slap on the wrist, or do you kind of agree with me that he needs to kind of do community service and pay a significant portion of that money back? I mean, I feel like he needs some kind of punishment because it was foolish and you need to learn your lesson. I have calmed down. I'm about to enjoy the rest of my weekend. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this Amanda Seales, Jeannie Mai thing, debating over Jussie. And like, comment, share, all of that good stuff. And I will see you again this weekend with some more videos. Y'all have a good one. Bye.